Nihon Falcom recently celebrated their 40th anniversary, and with that, they actually made a lot of announcements for the future of their series and their company. There are a lot of games created by Nihon Falcom, and those are not counting the games that were ported over to the consoles. And as a sort of celebration, I'm just going to go over 5 of my favorite games made by Nihon Falcom. These are games that hold a special place in my heart, even if they are not highly regarded in the upper echelon of Nihon Falcom games. Also, why 5? I don't know, YouTube just likes lists. And I just want Eric Landon to notice me. Number 5. Popful Mail on the Sega CD. Popful Mail was released for the PC in 1991 and was ported over to the Sega CD in 1994 as a joint venture between Sega and Falcom. The collaboration was an effort to bring more Falcom games to Sega consoles, but that didn't really pan out that well. This game is actually the first and only game that was ported over. There are other companies that ported over Falcom games to the Genesis and the Master System, but those were third parties. They were not Falcom themselves. This was brought over to the United States through Working Designs, but they actually changed a lot from the original game. Mainly, they made it more difficult. I am including this in the list because when I was on my Nihon Falcom kick, I tried it out and it actually kicked my ass. I eventually found a version called the Unworking Designs mod, and this restores the game back to its original Japanese version, but it kept all the translations. So pretty much, it's almost like an English patch in a sense. I would recommend this version of the game, honestly. The game is a comedic action platformer and it is really enjoyable and cute. Plus, I am currently streaming this on my Twitch. Check it out if you want a tough but rewarding game. Number 4. Gurumin, a monstrous adventure on the PSP. This was released for the PC in Japan in 2004 and later released for the PSP in 2006. This was brought over to the United States in 2007 and the PC version was ported over to Steam in 2015. Now the PSP and the PC versions are different. I played the PSP version when it was released as a demo on the PlayStation Store years ago. This was technically my very first Nihon Falcom game. I didn't know it at the time because I was like in middle school. I have not tried out the PC version, but people have called this game the spiritual successor to Zwei, which is also a game that I'm streaming on Twitch. Either way, this game is fun for an action platformer, and I replayed the undubbed version for the PSP, and the Parin's voice actress really leaves a lot to be desired.
あなたの孫だってば、今日ここに引っ越してくるって手紙に書いたでしょ?
Either way, check it out on the PSP if you have one laying around, or you could pick it up on Steam. I would suggest the Steam one because it's always going on sale and it's a lot easier to find. Again, this game, very cheap. Number 3, Ys 8 on the PlayStation 4. It was difficult to settle which Ys game that I loved, but I had to give it to Ys 8. This game was released in 2016 and was ported over to a lot of different consoles, even to iOS and Android? What am I looking at? Now, I do consider this game to be everybody's first Ys game because it's on a major console. Now, is this my first Ys game? No, but I will get to that. But it is the first Ys game that I played with this style of combat. The battle system changed from Ys 7, which makes sense because that was on the PSP. This is on the PlayStation 4. Either way, this game is so much fun, and I have yet to try out Ys 9, but if it's anything like 8, I already know I'm gonna love it. Either way, I would recommend this if you want a great modern action RPG that goes on discount all the time. Seriously, this game on Steam is like maybe $20 at most. Number 2, The Legend of Heroes, The Trials of the Sky on the PSP and the PlayStation Vita. This game was released on PC in 2004 and was ported over to the PSP in 2006. We did not receive this game until 2011 because of the high amount of text that had to be translated. Oh boy, where do I even begin with this game? After I started searching for more Nihon Falcom games, I was looking over the games list and I saw a game that sounded familiar, and that's when it hit me. I actually had this game for the PSP years ago. Sadly, I traded that over for Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions. Regardless, I don't remember much about the game, so I got the PSP version and oh my god, I love it so much. The characters are amazing, the story is engaging, the combat is a great mixture of strategy and traditional turn-based RPGs. I found out a little later that there was actually an enhanced port for the PlayStation Vita, only in Japan. And there are differences, more noticeably there's graphical differences, and it is more balanced. You can purchase the original 2004 version of the game, the PC version, on Steam, and I would highly recommend it, especially since that game also goes on discount all the time. There's definitely a pattern here. There's definitely a pattern. Number 1, Ys Origin for the PlayStation Vita. Okay, let me explain. Like I mentioned, these games are not only great, but they have some sort of sentimental value to them. This is a great game. It's not as good as Ys 8 or Trials in the Sky, but again, let me explain. This game was originally released in 2006 on the PC and released worldwide in 2012. Eventually, it was ported over to the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Vita in 2017. And yes, I did do an unboxing of the collector's edition on my channel. How did you know? I first played this game on the PlayStation Vita, and it was my first introduction to not only being aware of what Nihon Falcom was as a company, but my first introduction to the Ys franchise. The reason for that was because I had a Vita at the time, and this just happened to be the one that I purchased. That is literally it. There's no real reason. It's literally just that. This just happened to be the first Ys game that I played. Ys Origin is actually the first game in the Ys timeline where they set everything up 700 years before the first game, which I did play. I bought this game in, I believe, 2018, and from there I was hooked. I looked up different games in the Ys series, and I kind of decided to play them in order. Eventually, I got through all of the Nihon Falcom games, such as the Trials series, Brandish, Xanadu, which I cannot fucking beat, and I probably never will, and Zwei. Ys Origin holds a special place in my heart because it sent me down 40 years of Nihon Falcom games, and honestly, I loved every moment of it. And that is why it's my number 1 pick. Thank you all for